she was beautiful. She was like, I want you to learn all that there is. And I was like, all right. So she would stand on the sideline, and he would, like, you get infectious behavior because he would be standing there, and you'd be like, swear to God, this was a queen. You reading, and you like this thing. He's like this girl. He's like, don't do it. You don't want no parts of this. And I was like, this thing, how do you get all this lingo? Because you hanging the children. Like this, and he's like, what? He's like, whatever. But if you come visit, he would invite his friends. And if they like even twisted, like eyebrow twist, he'd be like, he says, are you having a problem? He's like, there's plenty of room outside. Like this, if you can't take what's going on in here, you can go outside. Like this. And I'll show you the way. He was so like, you know.
And tell me, how did you meet him again, Willie? When did he come up to you?
Willie picked him, and he came to.
But when did Willie meet you?
He came to the Harvey Mill, and we were like, who is this butch? Like, is he gonna walk? And he's like, this is the new boy. This is Ben. He's straight. Don't y'all eat him up like this. Give this child a chance. And he turned it. We were sitting there like this. Because he did walkovers and serving, and he was doing Willie style, and I was like.
But now that we're rolling on this camera, can you go back to where you met Willie? And then?
I had gotten a job at Macy's as a makeup artist, and which was on the 4th floor, was Brony Cosmetics, and I was going to lunch, so I was walking down the stairs, and I got all the way to the bottom floor, and there's like these 4 steps, and there's a makeup counter right here, like accessories. And there was a guy standing behind there who I later found out was Scotty. He was also in the House of Ninja. He did all the sewing. So I'm walking and this guy passes me and I hear, excuse me. And I didn't know anybody, so I'm like, he can't be talking to me. And he said, excuse me. He said, and I turned around. He goes, yeah, you. He said, I said, okay. And I'm like, what is this? Like, who is this? And he's like, has everyone ever told you you are the most beautiful black person I've ever seen? And I was like, you're blind and I'm going to lunch. Like, you're carrying on. He's like, what? He said, this thing, listen. He's like, there ain't nobody like you. See the structure? And my head is going, I said, tell me more, what's going on? And he's like, well, I want you to be, have you modeled? I was like, model? Because I always had a complex about being so dark. And like everybody in my family is like a shade lighter than even my mom. Like I look like her, but she's like a little bit lighter than me, and my brother and sister look like the guitar. Like so it's like, and it's just like I was always told that you black, faggot, you're never gonna be nothing, never gonna amount to nothing. So I never tried to do anything but sing. And when I met Willie, he was like, bitch, what? You can do anything you want to. You can let all these children have it. And if you don't think you're fierce, how you expect anybody else to think you're fierce? And like this, you're not over because they think you are. You should be over because you think you are. And I say you should know you are, and you should let them have it. So if somebody comes at you and thing, they're gonna think they're fiercer than you are. And like this, that's a no. Like this, regardless, already cut this down. And I was like, by doing what? Like when you walk, like he taught us how to walk runway. And he's like, well, in like the balls, they want you to walk one foot in front of the other. So you sway and turn. He taught us how to serve and all the let kids have it. Just be like you don't exist. Can you move? Like this, I need the runway. And you are taking up space. To one side, please. And you would serve. And if that was your forte, you let they would give you the costume and you would use everything to your advantage. Except I wouldn't, they do a lot of dipping and twisting on the floor, and I'm nobody's maid, and I'm not taking my fashion to sweep up this dirty dance floor just to prove a point. I can still come through by standing up. And that's what I did. And I was like, no, I'm not doing it. But it's like, well, let's perfect that. And Evelyn Champagne King was the first song that he taught me. You Are My All in All was where I learned voguing from. Like this, that, and then Lisa. And I went to school with her at Julia Richmond. And Luther Vandross and Dana Dane. Like I had just got to the school while they were graduating, but I still went there. And I still went to school with them. I still saw them.
And so when they brought him to Shampoo, how was that?
It was like I was just stunned. I couldn't believe that this person was here because all the times I've been talking about Willie and the House of Ninja, everybody at Shampoo looked at me like, the what? The who? Like, you don't know that, y'all. I was like, this thing. I was like, why on earth would you make up a story about knowing somebody as legendary as that? Because you can always backtrack it and find out if you're telling the truth or not. So why would I lie about this? Like, this thing, I was honored that I was chosen by this individual who thought I had enough chutzpah to be in his house. And he didn't know me from Adam. Like, he saw the back of my head. And he's like, no, bitch, this is over. And it was a privilege. I couldn't believe. There was one time we went to Palladium, and it's on Thursday night, they had sold out the floor to Richard Gere for his birthday party. And so they separated that from the dance floor, and you had to go all the way up the side and go to the Michael Todd room. Well, there was like a gap in the curtain. So me and my friend were like, well, girl, what they holding up the dance floor for? So we pressed up in there, and I was like, we didn't see anybody, but they had a long table on the dance floor, and they had presents and all this thing. And the first person I saw was Shelley Winters. She was so verbose. She said, Miss Thing, you were doing it? You want a drink? I said, I don't drink. She said, well, come on, bro, you can get a drink. So I was like, we didn't have to take a chair, nothing. She's like, sit here. I said, eat this somebody's. And she said, sit down. And I was like, I love you in the side of it, you my girl. She's like, I did that so long ago. And I'm like, then Richard Gere comes at the front of the table, and I'm like, this thing, you know, we weren't even invited. I don't know what to mean. We were invited by Shelley Winters. I said, Miss Thing, how on earth are we going to get these? We are sitting at the birthday table of Richard Gere. And this child don't know us from a glass of drinking water. There was all these people, so I'm sure he didn't see us. And they cut the cake, and then they played music, and we went. I was like, come on, girl, let's make this escape we get tossed out of here. And we went through the curtain and went back up to the Michael Todd room. And this thing, I was like, everybody. I said, girl, we was just downstairs at Richard Gere's birthday party. And I was like, what, really? I said, wait till it opens up. We went over to Shelley, and I said, this is my friend. And she goes, oh, it's so nice to meet you. She was so polite, and you would never believe, because she would think you should be able to, and she was no part of that. She wanted to talk, she sat down. I was like, girl, you are Shelley Winters. We are nobody, and you are all chatting us up and the whole show. She's like, well, why wouldn't I? I said, because you got all the story in this thing. I want to hear what you got to say. She's like, it's not that interesting. She's like, well, give me a few cocktails and we'll be all right. I was like, all right, well, what do you want? She says, I want to hear it all. And she got all the sauce that you told it. Oh, I was like, yeah, really? And was so interested in it. And I was like, because all this party was going on at Palladium, and I was like, I could care less. I was like, I'm sitting next to Shelley Winters and Karen. I was like, she was doing society nature. You didn't treat it like this. I was like, swell. I was like, I said, can I touch you? He was like, what? I said, sorry. I was like, because I got all like.
But that night at Shampoo, tell me about Willie. When he got there.
When he showed up, everyone kept saying, there's a surprise for you. And I was like, what could that be? Because it takes a lot to I mean, what could this possibly be? And what could you possibly do to shock anything, especially in Philly? Well, in neighborhood company, when things returned, I was like, and he immediately was like, bitch, what? Like this, you don't see it? I was like, like this, you don't say hi to mother? I said, I couldn't believe that you were standing in Shampoo in Philadelphia in front of me. All I did was speak about you she was, this started my whole stretch up, and I haven't stopped since. And she wouldn't let me. She was like, there was no way. But she wouldn't let me walk any balls because these queens are vicious. The one child won the trophy and she got hit. The one queen hit her upside the head with a champagne bottle because she lost a champagne bottle. They don't break like glass. Bitch, I was like, oh, no, you won't. She goes, this is what can happen, and you're too lovely for that. So, no. It was like, she was really my mother, you can watch, but you can't enter. I was like, I want to win. You don't have to. You and every time you step on the dance floor, look at this mug. I said, Mr. How you? And that's why I was feeling grand, because you have this legendary telling you sick. I'm like, okay, well, she's that age. Like, it's got that too. Like, this Willie be like, I was like, Willie, you hit a child. Like, what's the meaning? And she's like, you know what it is. I know, but tell her. Like that. I was like, let her know it. Because this bitch has lost her mind. She's coming at me. He said, well, lie. I said, well, because Julie, so? If that bitch is feeling her oats, Mr. You let her know. No. Like this, and that's where my other, like, ability, like, came forth with this mouth. Hey, listen, I would never, like, no. Never let you see them. Never let anybody see you sweat. And if they come for you, light them up from head to toenail. Like this. Like, how dare you? Like this. I mean, I was like, I'm fine. So, my dad was in the military. If you, like, chat it up, you better be able to back it up. Like that.
Right.
Or you get your girls to be like, look, I'm like, there's all of you and all of us. So, now that we even, what do you want?
Well, it's such an honor for us to be here at Certify and be able to document your story, because as we tell it and as we film it and as we document it, we see and we get to know, and I knew because Spirit told me, the legend of Phoenixx. Now I know Phoenixx Ninja. Wow.
When they hired calling me a legend, like I was the first person to introduce RuPaul here in Philadelphia, and I think that there should be a rule that if you have a star that you like admire, you should never meet them,
Right.
ever, because it shatters your whole vision.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
you're like this, for real. Like, and then you realize is that the only reason why you are who you are is because I think you are. So therefore, I pay my money, and the bitch next to me pays my money, and it pays you to do all that you are. But you feel grand. Like she was staying at this hotel on the corner of half a block. Like this, all you had to do. Oh no, we had to get her a limousine to go from 1 street to Broad Street to 12th Street, like 12th and Locust.
Right.
And she would not. Like, bitch, I'm the host. I'm hosting you. I should be able to walk into your hotel room and saying it's time to go. No parts. I was like, and then she said, well, we're gonna walk. She thought I said I was gonna cut her head off. I was like, I said, yeah, it's right there. Like, then by the time we wait for this limo, the show be over. Like this, I don't understand. I just couldn't comprehend, like, you, a RuPaul bitch, walk down the block, let all that there is spook you. Like this, by the time you get to where we going, you're going from the limo to this dark ass club and wait till you're like, what? You taller than the ceiling. You had to walk in like this. So I'm like, girl. And then when you sit on stage, you couldn't do anything because this was the ceiling and this is you. So the kids were like, yes. I'm like, but you put all this. I said, for what? These children are living for you. They ain't got 2 dimes to rub together, but they found them that night just to see you. And you being ferocious. Like, what is going on? I was like, no. I said, how can this be? And I was like, Grace Jones did the same thing. I was undone. I couldn't believe it. But she had to be brought to her senses. And I'm like, no. Then we waited 2 hours just to like glance at her. And we had like the whole private room. She was like, no, like you took 2 hours to get, you go off. She got off stage and she's supposed to do her thing, get dressed and all this thing. 2 hours, all these people waited. And I was like, this thing, I like folks, but for real, like this thing, I don't even do my makeup in 2 hours. Like, I'm not, no. And like, I was done. Because she's like, was my idol. Like Vamp, all her makeup, I would copy everything she did. As it was flawless. And she, when I was like, ugh, I couldn't believe. Then we sat there 2 hours and she just got off stage. She wore the same makeup, the same ensemble, and she smelled like weed. I was like, what? did we wait out in the hallway for? Like, I thought she was gonna like dust up and like change ensembles, no parts. Like this, and she was Judy. They had all this food and stuff for her, and like I was like, Grace, I was like, I just want to tell you, and she's like she couldn't even be bothered to look at me in my face, and I was like, this isn't gonna work for me. And so you think that bitch is like 7 feet tall? She's this big, and she in all her movies, in her rider, she is only allowed to be shot from the ground up, so she looks tall. Because Arnold Schwarzenegger is like when she was in Conan the Barbarian, they look the same time, no parts. And I was like, this bitch got nerve. And she also has a habit, which is ferocious. And I was like, okay, girl, well, you do whatever you want to do, but not off the floor of your hotel room. It's not cute, it's not attractive in any way, shape, or form. And I was like, this thing. And I was like, okay, like this. I was like, nah. And waiting, it was just, she couldn't be bothered. And I was like, this can't be happening. Like, Grace Jones is like the epitome of all that there is. Like, how can, what? I was so undone. I almost cried. I was like, I gotta go. Like that. I was like, I couldn't. And I was like, it just crushed me. And I was like that. And then she came to Shampoo being grand. She's like, I need you to go get this. She was at Diane Catarina. Go find this for me. And I was like, and he came over to me and I said, for who? I said, no. I said, I'm going to the bathroom. You ain't get it for no. For what reason? And she's Grace Jones. If she wanted it, she could find it herself. She's the star, right? And on the door, it's like matte. So therefore, like, well, how can I? Because I'm already her. So I was like, I couldn't.
Okay, we're done with that one. Thank you so much, Phoenixx. You're the best. You're the best. You're the best. Wow, to get that.
Nice, dude.